Welcome to those who just joined. It's a new month, it's a new quarter, and we're excited for what's to come. Excited about the new products from convention, excited about the new energy that we're feeling from convention. So, yes, so grateful. I wanted to lead out today by asking if you could boil down your role as a wellness advocate into just one or two words. How would you, if you're trying to explain to someone, literally you only had two words to say, this is what I do. This is the main thing as a wellness advocate. What would you say? What would you say your two-word job description is? Ooh, I love Andrea says, giving hope. What else? What would you say? Cindy says, connection maker. Awesome. Leanne says, empowered freedom. So good. Alex says, serving people. Yes. All excellent answers. Julie says, solutions provider. And I would say amen to all of those. So, I want to share just a quick thought on the two words that I would choose. And there's no right or wrong answer here. Sometimes I hate it when people do this type of teaching, like, what would you say? And you can tell that there's a right answer in their mind. So hopefully that's not the vibe that you're getting. But I do want to share what I have seen in our 17 years. If I could summarize my job description as a wellness advocate, the two words that I would choose are to build belief. That's what I do. I am in the business of sharing the belief in the product, the belief in the company, the belief in self. Many of you have heard me teach the belief levels. Sometimes we call it the belief summit. But this is basically this idea that to build through the ranks in doTERRA, you have to first have a belief in the product that will get you to elite. If you believe in the company and the opportunity, you can build to premier. To get to silver, you need to have a decent belief in yourself, right? Not that you're some kind of, supernatural, extraordinary, extraterrestrial being, just a general belief that you can succeed, that you can have success. To build to gold and beyond, it has to do with your team and your builders and your effect on people. Do you believe in your why, your influence, your legacy, etc.? So that is the business that we're in, and so I love this the belief levels graphic because it's a fantastic diagnostic tool. If you're wondering, have I been stuck at a certain rank for a while? How's my belief in the current level where you are and the next levels beyond that? So let's say you feel like you've been stuck at Premier. How is your belief in the company and the opportunity? Do you have confidence in the leadership of the company, the direction it's going, the actual business opportunity that it is that today? How's your belief in that? And then move on up. How's your belief in yourself? Do you believe that you can have success? So those are just a couple of quick thoughts. If you've been around you've been on these calls, you've heard me teach the belief summit before. Um, but those are core principles that Natalie and I have seen over and over and over again. Um, that it's progressive. You have to start at the base and work your way forward. So, so just do a little check-in with yourself and ask yourself, um, where's my belief today? And what can I do to continue to nourish and build belief in myself first, and then expand from there to build my belief in others? How can I help others expand their belief? So those are the quick thoughts I wanted to lead out with today. So why don't we dive into questions? It looks like Becky is raising her hand. So if you'd like to come on as a panelist, we are here. I'm here to serve. So,
Good morning.
hi, how are you?
Good. Hey, I
Great,
was just thinking about that exact thought that you were sharing about the different beliefs at the different levels. So I'm a
great.
premier and I feel like I have a good belief in the company and I'm really growing my belief in the opportunity. But one of the things I was just thinking about yesterday is that I struggle with the idea of bringing on builders because I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to support them or know how to support them. And I
Mm,
have a system, like Lindsay Norman has done a great job at like really outlining that. And I have that all set up and I have systems, but I'm just like, I think that it really limits me from inviting people because I'm nervous about like how do I support them. And then also I think a couple calls ago you mentioned like we don't want to run with people who want the easy route. And so
hmm
also how to navigate, maybe there's people who are interested, but they can't even like follow up phone calls and return things. And I'm like, I don't want to work with someone like that. So how do you actually like navigate that? People who are interested, but you're like, I really don't want to work with this type of person. So
hmm
anything that you could speak to on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love, congratulations on premiere. That's worthy of celebrating. So that's huge. And and I love this clarity that you're getting around where you are, right? Like you're sensing in yourself some hesitancy to bring on builders because you don't know if you can help them get where they want to go. And it sounds like there's also some hesitancy because you don't want to work with the uncommitted, right? Like
Yeah.
you're wanting to deal, you want to partner with people who are resilient, people who have high work ethic and are willing to get things done. So I love that. I love this clarity. So it sounds like from what you said, you have a solid belief in the product, solid belief in the company, the opportunity. So, and you said this yourself, where you're faltering is the belief in yourself. Do I have what it takes? So I want you to drop into your heart and maybe close your eyes and sit in that question of what does it take to be successful? And is their success dependent on me?
Good question.
What are your thoughts? What comes up for you as you sit in those questions?
No, I don't think their success depends on me. Um, like uh, I'm here to like serve them or help them, but like if they don't like if they're not willing to do the work or whatever, it's not my problem.
Hmm.
uh,
Exactly.
for sure.
Yep.
I think some of it is a little bit like Mel Robbins said, like it's a little bit of that like I haven't done this. So then it's like the like fear of like how is this going to work? Am I going to be enough? And just that like I think once there's action then it like
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if that like falls into that like because the when you have that graphic up there about the beliefs at the different levels. I'm like, yeah, I really think that like at silver, that's where I'm at as I'm struggling like with where my belief is in myself. But like, is it just that I just need to take the action and that helps to grow the belief in yourself?
Yeah. You have done a fantastic job of self-diagnosing and writing your own prescription. Um, so I had the cropped out the right side of the image to just show the belief levels, but you are absolutely right. Um, if we do have a solid belief and we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then we take action, right? We move from belief into not only how we embody that and carry it out in the world, but also in who we become in the process. And so a lot of this right-hand side is not just action, but it's also the attributes that you develop in action. So yeah, I mean, you have you don't need a whole lot of coaching. You're doing a fantastic job of self-awareness and just yeah, just the acknowledgement that um, it is scary at every single level, right? Like inviting people, when you're inviting someone to build and to be a serious committed builder, you're basically asking them to change their jobs. So how many of us walk around, on a daily basis, inviting those who are closest to us to change their, not just their job, but sometimes their career? Like most people that we invite into this business did not come from network marketing in a health space, right? Like this is a whole different career. And so how bold is it for us to stand in that question, right? Of join me and quit whatever you're doing. Sometimes people don't have to quit. Sometimes they just supplement, but those who are all in,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I look at our qualifying legs and they are all in. And that's not I'm not taking credit for that. I'm super grateful. Um, but that's so all I'm trying to say is it takes courage. And so I honor each and every one of you on this call. And I honor you, Becky, for choosing in to courage, choosing into action, even though it feels scary. So I love what Mel taught us, right? Um,
Right, right.
fear keeps us from taking action, but the antidote, right? The anti-serum is take action because action kills fear. So simple, but so powerful, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think there's also that fear of like I'm not going to get it right. It's I'm not going to, and it's
uh,
I think that that's actually what I need to like step in the fact that that's truth, is that you
yeah,
don't get it right every time.
yeah.
Like it's a process. It's been like that in the whole journey of doTERRA. Like, you don't get it right. You try things that doesn't work. You try something else. It takes a while till you get a rhythm. And I think I need to remind myself that in inviting builders and bringing builders on, it's the same thing. Like it's going to take time to build a rhythm and a process and a system that actually feels like it works for me.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So, um, think about you. I don't know if you've um, ever seen a child learning to walk. Um, but like it's so incredible. Like it's just mind-blowing to think that, this little puddle of a human can can figure out the balance, the muscle control, to literally be like to be upright is to be completely, you know, I don't know, the physics of walking are phenomenal. And so but it happens with almost every human, right? Like we learn to walk and in that process, can you imagine if the child stumbles, can you imagine saying, "Oh, you idiot. What's wrong with you? You're a failure." Like, of course not. The only human response that I know of is, "Oh, good job," right? Like we're learning. Whoops, that didn't work. Let's try again, right? And so if we can just give ourselves the same grace, because none of us know what we're doing. We're all just making this up as we go. And so why should it be any different in doTERRA? Like we're all just,
Yeah,
we're making it up on the fly. And so
yeah,
giving yourself that same grace. Like, am I going to take some missteps? Yes. Am I going to trip and fall? Yes. And I'll keep getting up and walking and moving one foot in front of the other. Just the 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 failures along the way, I will not allow to stop me, right? I mean, just like you're looking
yeah.
for resilience in your builders, who gets to model that?
Mhm.
You do.
Either.
Yeah. Resilience looks like failing, but trying again. It looks like trying things, even if you don't know how to do them, and figuring it out in the process. So, yeah, it's scary. And how did Mel help those three gals reframe, right? What was the question? She had them make a statement. What if,
Um, what if this all works out or
what if
something
this
like
all
that?
works out? Yeah. What if this all works
Yeah,
out? I love that mindset so much. And so
yeah,
let's all give ourselves the same gift in our doTERRA businesses. Let's lean into that question. What if this all works out?
yeah. That's good.
Love it. You asked another question about what do you do um, if you're inviting, and the people are not committed. I think behind that question was how can I test um, their commitment? How can I not waste time on a bunch of people who are not committed?
Yes.
And so I I wish I had the formula for this. Um, I mean, just inviting them to do the actions, like what are the first actions? Invite people to a class, invite people to learn more, share the product. So just giving them, they don't even have to teach the class. They don't even have to educate by themselves, right? The project is to get them moving their mouth and get them um, just taking the first steps. And so, as far as I know, that's the best way to test commitment is to just give them a couple of steps, and if they do those steps, then there's commitment. If they make mistakes and they keep going anyways, there's resilience. And so, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of personality test you can take out there that could save you the time, but I don't know what it is. So we just keep inviting people, and the people who take action, that's who we focus on, right? I mean, we're gonna have this call for everyone. Anyone can jump on this call. It doesn't matter how committed you are, but to step into true partnership where we're one-on-one mentoring on a regular basis, we're learning your goals and we're holding you to them. That's for the highly committed, and so
Yeah.
that's that's the best test I know is just the test of action.
That's really good because as you were talking, I was thinking my sister and I run a ministry for women with trauma, and they actually are part of a residential program that we run. And so we have a little bit of a like vetting process to bring them in. And that's one of the things we do is it's like you have to call 3 days in a row at a certain time. If you don't, then it's the whole point of it is just are you committed? Can you do simple, basic things and keep going? And I think
Yep.
that that's like, as you were speaking, that came into my mind that it's like, just like you said, do your 100 PV and order the products and use them and make your names list and simple things like that. If they can't do that,
Yep.
then
They're
that's a
probably not your
good,
next, yeah, they're probably
yeah.
not your next builder. So
Now,
it's a
how about if you
simple,
get further into the process and they're like doing the 100, they call their people, they're inviting, they're
mhm,
sharing, and they do a couple classes, and then it seems like they kind of die out. Like in your experience,
mhm.
are those people that you continue to nurture because maybe they just need more support? Or like at that point, how do you discern that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it always depends, right? Um, I often teach this idea that we as humans are multifaceted. Like we have at least five dimensions to our being. You know, we have our spiritual side, we have our physical, financial, our social, emotional. And so the more the the more of these five boxes that doTERRA ticks, the longer they're going to stay. Or another way to say that is the deeper um, the doTERRA, if doTERRA is the seed in this analogy, the deeper the roots are in each of those five areas, the longer they'll stay and the longer they'll build and engage in a meaningful way. So I think that's the key. And so it's going to depend for each of them. You know, maybe they came in because doTERRA helped them with their headaches, right? And so physical box checked, okay? And so they start sharing, and maybe the finances just aren't coming. And so maybe it's going to take a little more focus to help them um, experience some success in the financial, or maybe they're checking those two boxes, but maybe they don't have a friend in doTERRA. You know, maybe I'm sure you're being a great friend to everyone, but I'm just saying, you know, sometimes that social need that people have, it's you know, it's different for everyone. It just depends on their
Mhm.
personality. Some of them, that's the only reason they're still around in doTERRA is for the social. That's why I
Yeah.
love convention. Is convention tends to bring a lot of those people out is like, hey, I'm here for the doTERRA family reunion, right? Uh,
Right, right.
and then the mental, you know, like if people aren't being stretched, um, if there's not some serious personal development happening, um, they tend to get bored. They tend to get complacent, and it doesn't challenge them, and so they
Mhm.
check out. Um, and then emotional, yeah, it's pretty clear that we are emotional beings. That's the water that we swim in as emotions. And so if doTERRA doesn't feel um, fun, you know, again, it depends on their personality type, right? Like if they're a person who loves fun, then building doTERRA needs to be fun. You know, it needs to
Mhm.
be, maybe they need to have like a, a work time set apart. In fact, Laura Jacobs shared this with us. She has a set time where once a week people come together, some physically, but most of them just on Zoom, and they work together during that time period. And so and sometimes they do challenges, right? Sometimes it's like, all right, we're going to have a goal of making 10 new contacts during this next hour. And so that's the that's the project that makes it fun for them. So, and some others, you know, Natalie, that's not her style. Fun is the last on her priority list. And so for her, it's all about just getting things done. And so if there aren't results, then she's going to check out. She needs to see the needle being moved. And so again, it depends on the person, but I've never seen an exception to this rule where if doTERRA doesn't have deep roots in those five domains, then they tend to not last. They tend to leave.
That's really good. And it's good to think about every person is different. How those are going to be
Yep.
met is different. Just being able to make
Yep.
sure as we're mentoring them that they're getting what they need.
Yeah. And I would definitely take a look at their strengths too. You're familiar with the Gallup Strengths Finder.
Mhm.
Um, just yeah, when we bring on a new builder, we always have them take this Gallup Strengths Finder test because that's going to inform how we speak to them, how we engage them, how we keep them, um, you know, staying in their lane, living in their brilliance.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise, when people are trying to be something they're not, again, that's a recipe for disaster.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Well,
Great
thank you,
questions.
Andy.
Any other
Yeah,
questions for us?
I don't think so. It's been very helpful to be on here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining, Becky.
Mhm.
I love the line of questioning. I love the invitation for all of us to just do a check-in and say, um, you know, where am I on the belief levels, and and what can I do to build belief, to to inspire more belief and engage others to be belief builders, right? So that's what this conversation was. Um, how can we always be enrolling belief builders, right? That's what a builder is. A builder is a belief builder. So love this conversation. All right. Who else has a question? Go ahead and raise your hand and we can bring you on live. Love the comments. Thank you, Moneta, for being my scribe. Maybe I'll just paste those into Facebook as well. All right, go ahead and raise your hand and we can bring you on with any questions, concerns, whatever you want to work on. Well, while we're waiting for the next question, maybe I could bring up the slides for those 5 areas. Let's see if I have having to go way back to some really old files. Let's see. Is it Goddard? No, it's not that one. So, any questions? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Okay, Julie says, someone just asked me if the Essential Emotions workshop during convention was recorded and if you're able to purchase it. And the answer is yes and yes. Yes, it was recorded, and yes, you can purchase it. So if you go to the same web address where we had our doTERRA convention calendar, which is at sharesuccess.com/convention, you'll see that everything is linked. So like if you want to catch the recording of the Essential Motions training, click on that. Also, if you want to catch the recording of the business training, just click on that. So you click on that, and then you click on buy tickets. And obviously the live, oh shoot. Looks like we haven't set up the recording for that one. I'll get that set up right after this call. But if you want to buy the recording for the business training, that's how you do it. You just click on buy recording, and there you go. So yes, it's available, and I'm sorry the link is not working, but yes, it is coming. And yes, if you attended live, you do get the recording. Sharon has been out for a few days, and so we apologize for not sending that out sooner. But yes, it is coming. Okay. And same thing with the business training. So both emotions and business training, if you attended live, you will get an email with the link to the recording. So thank you for your patience. I know it's you want to plug back into the energy, right? Okay, Hope says convention is in Orlando next year. Do you plan to do the Essential Motions training and the business training the day before again? We definitely do plan on adding on events. We haven't started talking to the event center about venues and spaces. So lucky for you, Hope, you're right there in Florida. So it shouldn't affect your travel plans too much, I don't think. I think you're in the Orlando area. But yes, we do plan on doing the add-on training. So stay tuned for more details. I think a lot of people are going to add on some time in Orlando just to take advantage of all the goodness Orlando has to offer, right? Who else is going to go do some fun stuff while at convention? Bonnie says, how long will the recordings be available? I believe we said it'll be for 1 month. So from the time you get it until we take it down, it'll be 1 month. So that should give you plenty of time to watch it as many times as you want, take all the notes you want, and get all the goodness. Some people ask, well, why don't you just make it available forever? we have learned by sad experience that when you do make it available forever, people never watch it. doTERRA did the same thing with the replay of convention. If you give people a deadline, then things get done. So that's what we decided to do. Okay, any other questions? Go ahead and raise your hand. Put it in the chat. Um, checking to see if I missed any questions. Okay, on Facebook, Adrienne says, I'm thinking to focus on the share guide with potential builders versus the build guide and the power of three only. I really want to keep it simple. What are your thoughts? I love that. Especially when you have a potential builder who doesn't seem very committed yet. I love this idea of starting with the share guide, right? The less you can give them, the better it will go, especially for the less committed. If people are like all in, let's say someone is coming over from another company, they're ready to just like mass launch their team. I'm going to give them the share guide, the build guide, the business building guide. They're going to get the whole package because they need to know how to train their people, and they know like they're all in, right? If they're leaving their company, they're all in. If this is a cute mom who has never done a business before or never done marketing, and they say that they might want to build, then I'm going to start with something like the share guide or the build guide. So on Zoom, Ruth is asking, are the share guides new? Let's go and check because I thought they were. So I always just Google doTERRA Empowered Success, and then let's click through and click on the share and see if it's got oh yeah, this is definitely new. So you're just going to make a short names list, or sorry, a list of the products that you love, and then a short names list with what their needs are. You're going to reframe your story, or frame your story, and then you can share a sample, share a link, and then you can earn rewards. So they do mention the rewards program and the points. So it looks like the share guide is really focused on just earning free doTERRA dollars, right? Well, I guess not. I guess it does mention the wellness advocate. Um, so yeah, I guess it does mention Power 3, but it doesn't really spell out how to do the Power 3. So I guess if you're planning on if one of your first goals for them is to get them to Power 3, I don't think this would do it all the way. I think I would definitely add the build guide, even if you just focus in on that one section in the build guide of the Power 3. So yeah, this is definitely a really great onboarding process um, for early sharers or early builders. But yeah, I think if you're gonna really get them earning Power 3, they're gonna need more than that. So great question. Leanne asks, if you're bringing on a new builder, what doTERRA training do you recommend they start with? I was recommending Launch Your Business and then doTERRA Business Building Certification. Yeah, I love those. Both those resources are fantastic. And I definitely recommend both of them. Sometimes people don't need that much training. If they're literally just a sharer, then it might be like, hey, let's sit down and invite some of your friends together, just to make sure you know, um, your questions you're answered, your concerns are allayed. So I would just kind of feel that out based on their commitment level. If they've said, no, I'm here to build, I'm all in, then I think I would start sending them things like the Launch Your Business and the Business Building Certification. And by the way, those are all at training.doterra.com. So Fantastic resources. Um, Alex says, where do I get all these resources and trainings? Yeah, so those two, the launch and the business building certification, trained.doTERRA.com. Okay, Andrea says, what do you suggest for someone giving thought about the business? Would be a good resource without overloading them with info. Again, I would start with the share guide. If there's curiosity, the share guide is a really soft invite to just start sharing the love. So not, yeah, I don't think it points out to too many videos. It just has, the real basics to get started. And um, and if they take those steps, like Becky was asking earlier, how do we test commitment? We give them a couple steps and see if they take action. So you might give them the share guide. If they take action, if they take those steps, maybe they host a class, give them a build guide and keep moving from there. So build guide is like, okay, now that we've got some experience under our belt, let's talk about what this could do, what this could change for you. Let's take a look at your financial world and just start diving in the deep end. Okay, do you know if the Wellness Advocate Starter Pack is going to be available again? It was great having the promo code for all the free training. I assume so. Um, is it sold out? Is that I know that the convention builder pack sold out, but I didn't know um, if that's what you're referring to. If anybody knows that, please chime in. Go ahead and put in the comments how you'd respond to Leanne's question. Oh, Becky says, I thought it was going to be available starting today with the other new products. Okay, great. And then Leanne says they took it down before convention because the guides need to be updated. Yeah. So, with the new comp plan changes, with the whole, yeah, there've been a lot of need for changes. So, yeah, if doTERRA's on track, today is when all the convention products are available individually. So definitely spread that word. That's super exciting. Let me just check and see if there are any questions on. Okay, yes. Okay, well, what other questions do you have for me today? Brenda asks if the convention kit is available for purchase this month or just the individual products. Does anyone know that? I haven't checked. I would be surprised if they're still selling the convention kit. So when I do a search for convention, I don't see a kit. But does anybody know the answer to that? Yeah, Leanne says just individual. She says the sharing packages on foundational wellness are available. But yeah, that seems right. Great question. All right, which of the new products are you most excited to use and share? Curious. I've been hearing some rave reviews on the Revitazen. As far as cleansing, I'm not going to get into too much detail. It'd be too graphic, but it is a cleanser and it works. So, yeah, I've been hearing lots of testimonials. Okay, some people are saying castor oil. Yeah, I need to get a castor oil pack. I didn't get to the marketplace in time, so. Okay, Becky says, been using the castor oil on my face every night. My skin is glowing. Yep, same thing, Brenda. Castor oil. Yes. Oh, so fun. So exciting. All right, any other questions today? Becky asked how I'm using the Revitazen. I am ashamed to say that I haven't tried it yet. Honestly, I have zero complaints with my digestion and detox channels. So I just haven't felt the need yet, but I probably should just be taking it um, proactively. Um, okay, so on Q&A, we have somebody asking, when will the two classes mentioned in the Reimagine Your Business training be available? Um, so I got the web pages all set up, and I need to coordinate with Natalie on that because I think those will go out. Oh gosh, I should know this, but I don't. So stay tuned. The two classes she's referring to is many of you know about the class that we worked on with Seth. Um, we call it the Sick, Fat, and Lazy presentation. And um, so um, it's a fantastic presentation. And you can actually buy um, the presentation through PayHip. So here's the link to that. Um, so I think we might have put the link to that in the Share Success library too, if you want to, if you're watching the recording and you need access. So, but there's the link to that. And then Amy Fulmer loved the presentation so much that she made some adaptations. And then she had, so we had a professional videographer record both of them teaching their versions. So, um, so yeah, if you buy the recording, then you'll get access to both of those classes being taught, one by Amy and one by Seth, and then you'll get access to both of their presentations. So just follow that link. Okay, so Brenda's asking where you can purchase those. So just if you buy the Seth version, then you'll get the recordings of both. So that's the PayHip link. And Adrian, we will send that to you. So thank you for the reminder. So awesome, great questions. Yeah, it's such a timely message. So we will, yes. Thank you for the reminder, Mary. We will, I'll work on that right after this call. So, Diane's asking where. I just posted the link there on Facebook as well. Just going to check and see if I added that to the library, because I think I did. Product PowerPoints. Yes, I did. Okay. So for those watching the recording, you can go to sharesuccess.com/library, which looks like this. And if you scroll down and you click on product PowerPoints, then you'll see the link right there. So that takes you over to PayHip is the third-party tool that we used to buy that. And then we'll get the two recordings, Amy and Seth, sent out to those who have already bought it or who buy it going forward. So that is where you can access it. Okay. Julie, yes, if you buy the Seth version, you also get the Amy version. So we'll be sure to send that out. Okay. Ruth says that it seems like doTERRA hasn't posted any Reclaim Your Health events yet. Maybe they're not doing this year. Does anybody know what doTERRA's plans are with Reclaim Your Health? I do not have the answer to that one. All right, well, raise your hand if you have any other questions. Okay. In the Q&A, Leanne says, after convention, my hubby is inspired to create a men's doTERRA group. Where does he start finding details specifically towards men? That is a great question. Um, I know that Walter Watts created a Facebook group um, and was hosting a call for a while. Um, so let me share screen. So he was hosting a Zoom call once a month for doTERRA men, for men in doTERRA. Um, and then for whatever reason, he stopped doing the Zoom call, but the Facebook group is still there. So go to sharesuccess.com/men, and you can get a a link to the Facebook group. So ignore the Zoom. I'll take that down today as well. But if you want to go check out the Facebook group, that's a great place to start. So sharesuccess.com/men. Okay. Um, okay. Karina's, I think you're asking about the new presentation. Um, yes, the new presentation is based on Dr. Casey Means and her book, um, Good Energy. Um, I don't think doTERRA has anything like it. You're asking if it's better than what's in the DMK. Um, so, um, so yeah, sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're comparing that to. I don't know of anything doTERRA has that's similar. Um, I know that Laurie Jacobs has partnered with doTERRA to create a bunch of 90-day reset tools, and that's in the DMK. So definitely check those out. I don't have any information about that. I just know Laura's content is always spot on. So yeah, check that out too. All right. Any other questions today? Yes, that book is amazing. We are huge, huge fans. Yes, I use it. Okay. We've got Jeff raising his hand. So let's invite Jeff on. Okay. So if you missed, uh, okay, Cindy, you're asking how do we get access? Maybe clarify what you're talking about getting access to. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Andy. Hi. Thank you. I appreciate all your delivery here today. And I'm going to make a t-shirt and I'd love to send it for you. Belief Builder.
I like
Thank
it.
you. Okay. And I'll connect on the next week when I have it designed. But
Great.
another question. I got my first two enrollers last week. And bless my wife for enrolling me. You know, we're partners now instead of me being part of her downline. I talked to that before. But there's something in the doTERRA system, even though we're partners on the same team, everything's in Anne's name. I give her credit for getting us all the way to elite, and we're going to get us back there and beyond for next convention. I desperately want to walk the stage, but when it comes to enrollers and we build a team, it's all I entered the ladies' names in and stuff, but the computer system put it under as Anne as the enroller. I see that as getting confusing in the future. I have to remember all these people that I brought in and who they were. And Anne's never met them, but she's listed as an enroller. Is this
So,
just a computer thing with doTERRA that they've just got one person? They can't in the computer separate Jeff did this or Anne did this?
well, as far as a doTERRA account, so just to be clear, you and Ann share one account, right?
Right. It's under her name. I came in 3 or 4 months after, maybe 6 months after she enrolled. I became her downline, and within a year, doTERRA said, "Hey, you two are married. You can't do that."
Right. Okay. So then you've been using her account to enroll new people, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
it's supposed to be ours, but it's listed as hers and my
Okay.
wife's.
Well, I think that's a pretty simple process. I think doTERRA can let you change the name on the account so that it says both of you,
Hmm.
or whatever you want. Um, and what was the second thing I was going to say? In terms of actual ownership, um, she can add you to the account so that it's a joint account, um, so that you have actual shared ownership. So there's what name is displayed, but then there's a separate thing which is actual ownership. So totally up to you guys how you want to work that out. But doTERRA can add a co-applicant to anyone's account, and it sounds to me like that's what you're going for. You want to be a full partner on the account, and so that's what I would recommend is that you have her add you as the co-applicant, and then as far as the display name, I think you can manage that in the back office, like just what the name says for people's enroller, or if people look up their upline, what that displays as the name. So, a lot of people, once they get to higher rank, they change to a business name. I think, though, the doTERRA now lets you choose, do I display my actual name or my business name? So yeah, I think that what displays is a really simple one. So sorry, I think I had you mute because there was some background noise.
Thank you. I'll let you go. I appreciate that. I contacted doTERRA on it, and the lady said that's the first time anybody's ever asked me that.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just those two things, the display name and then the co-applicant.
okay. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for all you do.
Sure thing. Take care, Jeff. Okay, Leanne says, can you elaborate on that? Is this something we should be doing when our spouse joins us? Totally your call, right? Like everybody has their own philosophy and approach to this. Personally, Natalie and I love to be partners, full partners on everything. And so, both of our names are on the account. I'm the co-applicant. That's how we do it. Um, but yeah, it's just totally up to you. I do feel like if you're trying to get more buy-in from your husband, I feel like that's a great way to do it, is to say, hey, I want to be partners in this with you. I want us to be, to both lead out and take ownership and stewardship for this. So that would be my recommendation. But yeah, everyone's path is going to be unique. So, but that's what's worked for us. Okay, Diane says, do I have a simple short video on foundational wellness? I do not know of any. If anybody has any links to a short foundational wellness video, go ahead and put it in the chat. And then Tony says, what program do you use to send out text reminders? We use a program called Project Broadcast. You can just go to projectbroadcast.com, and the accounts, I think you can get a starter account for like 20 bucks a month. Super accessible. So, okay. Diane says, I heard that if something happens and it's not co-applicant, then the account has to go through probate. I don't know what that means. So, if anybody has more information on that, feel free to chime in there. All right. The texting program that I use, Becky, is called Project Broadcast. So you can go to projectbroadcast.com. And it's worked great for us. There are a lot of services out there. We've tried quite a few, but that's the one that we've stuck with. It works great. All right. Well, it's been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for raising your hand, for putting your questions in the chat. It's been rich, and I'm super grateful. So thank you all for your commitment. Thank you for your desire to build belief. And I'm just honored to be on a journey with you um, to that end, to building belief first in myself and then sharing it with the world. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week.